Good morning, beautiful souls. Happy Friday. It's me, Tim in the Woods. I've got some very vocal, squawky crow friends up in the trees. You'll probably hear them fairly shortly. And spring is on its way. We can feel it in the air. There's this beautiful songbird vibration coming through. The nights are getting a little bit shorter, day by day. And all in all, the energy of this year so far feels incredibly beautiful, depending on your choice of point of focus. So first of all, I'm going to do something that I haven't done before and ask any of you who aren't subscribed to the channel to maybe press the subscribe button, because it helps the channel grow. I'm intending to grow my YouTube side of things this year, like put it in a pot, put the soil around it, a little bit of fertilizer on it, water it, and then maybe at the end of the year I can have one of those nice shiny silver plaques. I like shiny things. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Press the like button, share, etc, etc. And now onwards with the energies. I am feeling such a different platform of frequency this year. It's one that is going to require fine-tuning, because we're very used to being a certain way, and we've got all of these opportunities to be beaded in or focused on the outside world, to be drawn into circumstances, scenarios, things that are actually physically in our world and happening to us. But we're being asked to do something which is spoken about many times on the spiritual pathway. We're constantly guided to do it. You can see it in old spiritual texts. You hear people talking about it continuously. It's about focusing upon ourselves and our own internal personal vibration at this point in time, as within so without. With the increase in frequency, with our chosen timeline, with our direction of travel, where we are all collectively choosing to go, there are very specific spiritual laws that are tied in with this dimension, tied in with the choices that we've made. I was having a very interesting conversation yesterday about how I'd say probably all of us on this ascension pathway, myself included, have been almost rushing, enthusiastically charging away from the third dimension, where we've chosen to incarnate again and again, over and over again, sorting out the wheel of karma, coming back, learning our lessons, coming back, rinse and repeat over and over again, until we've now got to this lifetime, our master lifetime. And it is your master lifetime. I'll maybe cover a little bit more about this in a minute, where we are offered the opportunity to leave the wheel of karma, which incidentally ended on the 21st of December 2012, and move into a different mode of operations, a different spiritual growth. So in the process of running enthusiastically away from the third dimension as fast as we could, not even shutting the door on the way out, it was like bye. We've also, I feel, overlooked some of the more comfortable aspects of being in 3D. And many of us are already vibrating on a regular basis at a fifth dimensional frequency. We will perhaps dip in and out of this, maybe countless times on a daily basis, because we are triggered or are distracted, or our point of focus allows us or requires us to be somewhere else. Say just for a sake of example, I can be vibrating, like the sun on a seventh dimensional frequency. I've called all of these energies in, my chakras are aligned, my fields feel good, and then I have to deal with something like, say, my taxes, and inevitably my frequency then plummets. It's natural, okay? Or maybe we have to go into a crowded area where our energies don't feel comfortable and our energy drops temporarily. But the most important point is it comes back again. And we do this on a regular basis the majority of the day. And as we are becoming more stable, as we are becoming more anchored and confirmed with our dimensional space, our frequency, our personal vibration, the laws and the principles of our spiritual lives here on this planet are inevitably beginning to change. So in our race to move away from the third dimension, we have almost, in many cases, unwillingly signed the contract for 5D without checking the small print, without checking what it is that it actually requires us to be in that space. And I think that's why so many of us have found particularly the last couple of years, so challenging, is that we've had to adhere to this new frequency. We've had to change our physicality. We've had to change the way that we think. We've had to change the way that we speak. Because if we don't, we are out of alignment with that higher frequency, and our world, our bodies and our fields respond accordingly. So one of the things that I've always found very interesting is how we will inevitably, and I say this in the most structured way possible, be moving away from free will. Free will was and is still the ultimate learning platform of the third dimension. Think about it. You are incarnate upon a planet. You know nothing about your origins because you've had the veils of amnesia placed over your third eye. You've had all of your memories removed to a point. Some people do come through and primarily they remember their sources, their powers, but that rapidly gets shut down as they immerse into 3D life. So this applies to the majority of us during our childhood. We arrive here. Any semblance or memories of what we were or where we've come from are just immediately, they go as we begin our lives. And the most interesting part of 3D, and this still applies to us because to a certain degree, is free will. So you could take the path of the light, or you could take the path of the dark, and that's your choice. You do as you want to do. But as with every choice made during the third dimension, it would have energetic and karmic consequences. Now, the majority of the time, these karmic consequences would be rolled into a ball or put on a store card and paid back in the next lifetime, which is why we've come back again and again, going through the motions, going through the lessons, even to the point where we've learnt the lesson once, but we've then got to learn it again at a higher frequency to pass through the gateway of the next test. Now, so when we move into the fifth dimension fully, when we're fully there, when the collective has all but settled at that frequency, there will obviously always be fluctuations. We're humans and we have emotions, we have choices, we have things that we respond to, but ultimately our end goal is to have a conscious planet all vibrating from the heart. So when you have a collective that is vibrating from the heart, the choices that the collective make individually and on a together level, a collective level, are completely different. We will not act or think or speak in the way that we used to. If you think about the third dimension, people make distinctive, definitive choices about whether to be good or whether to be bad. When we're vibrating at a fifth dimensional frequency, when we're heart-centered, when we're all functioning together and we're looking after each other, we're looking after our planet, we're looking after our community, everything is growing. You know, the fifth dimensional utopia that we have in our minds, those choices, those thoughts, those decisions that were made and are still being made by people that we would regard as bad or evil or dark upon this planet, they will cease to exist in our reality. That's where we're going. So if you think about it logically, if you think about it on a level of structural, functional, day-to-day reality, imagine living in a world where the only decisions that you ever make are from the heart. That moves away from free will. You are then moving into heart-centered service, which is very much the platform of energy that the angelics work on. Think about how the angelics work on a day-to-day basis. They are here simply to serve and to enact upon the will or wishes of Source. And most of the time, that has included looking after us lot down on this planet. Obviously, they've got millions of other jobs to do and tasks around the universe. But I'm talking about the realms that are dedicated to assisting us to learn and to grow and to move through the period that we're in at the moment. So in our rush to leave 3D, we've overlooked, and I believe in many cases, situations that, you know, we're leaving behind. And we've already done that. We're already moving through it. Think about the choices that you make on a day-to-day basis. Think about the decisions that you make, and think about them in comparison to the ones that you would have made a decade ago, or maybe 15 years ago. You were a different person in a different dimension, with different energy, with different thought structures, living a very different life. And even if you were still on your spiritual pathway during that period of time, it would not have been anything like it is now. The energy has utterly, completely changed. And this year, as I can feel it, already there's even bigger changes underfoot. We're being asked to focus less on the outside world, focus less about fixing something that we can see that is wrong. And that's our natural guided instinct to do as healers, as empaths, as warriors of the light, as protectors. We immediately feel that it is our sworn duty to assist with whatever is out of alignment. And that is then outsourcing our energy to an exterior issue. And Alice Heath explained this beautifully the other day. And incidentally, Alice and I will be coming together on the 21st of January, Tuesday next week, and running our workshop, Life as a Living Prayer, and we're going to be focusing upon this. So we are being asked to then guide our focus inwards, our intention inwards, to begin to work on the structure of us, the light bearers, the anchor points, the torches of humankind who are becoming these new representations of our monadic presence. As we walk the spiritual pathway, every step that we take involves change. It requires us to undergo a metamorphosis. We're no longer in the cocoon phase. We've broken out of our cocoons. We now have our wings. We are beautiful butterflies, so to speak. But we haven't learned to actually flap our wings and fully take off yet. If you think about when a butterfly emerges from a chrysalis or a cocoon, and it first begins to receive the rays of the sun, it spreads its wings. It's like, God damn, I'm beautiful, and all of the dust upon the wings begins to dry, and it gets ready for flight. That's where we are at the moment. So we're beginning to beat our wings. We're beginning to like, hey, I'm different. I'm powerful. I can move. And air is moving as I move my wings, and you can start to feel the currents. You're beginning to assess what it is that you need to do to regenerate. Say if you're tired, what you need to take off, and how the world is going to look when you have soared high above it from your elevated perspective, looking for the things that you wish to land upon. So that, I believe, is what we need to be nurturing. We need to be nurturing that beautiful inner light, those wings, the aspects of us. And once we've done that on this collective level, then the world around us changes to match the frequency. Diana Cooper did a very powerful workshop on the full moon. I do believe there was a few kind of there's a few incidents with the actual live streaming of it, but the recording went out, the work was done, and the report back afterwards was that she achieved, or everybody together achieved, exactly what was set out, that we passed the tipping point, past the 50-50. And just for those of you that have commented, when I use the term golden ratio, it's not in relevance to any of the mathematics or the formulas that you would have been like you would have known recently. It was just literally a term used by Serapis Bey to describe the balance point, the, you know, like that exact 50-50 of awakened and unawakened. So when we've hit that balance point, which we've done now, and we've moved to the other side of it, this is where the real alchemy begins, and it will move fast. Okay, this consciousness that spreads throughout the field, it will move quickly. You will see incredible changes occurring around you. Not so much in the structure of our reality, that will continue as it is, but you will start to see people responding to this new energy that they are privy to. There will be less choice. Okay, again, this is another aspect of the fifth dimensional energy. When you move above the benchmark of polarity, the choices that were available during polarity become inconsequential. They're no longer made. So energetically, people are just going to automatically flow towards heart-centeredness, towards being together, towards looking after one another, speaking lightly, speaking with intention and with love. And of course, we're going to see the counter response to this. Okay, you're going to see the kind of like the explosive kind of shadow side or pushback in the external reality of what we regard as the third dimensional matrix, losing power by the day. And of course, the talking heads that represent the matrix throw more rules, they throw more regulations, they try and create more drama, more trouble, more strife. And as this is occurring, Mother Earth clears vast patches of karmic energy that have been stuck. And we can point the finger and we can blame this at groups of people, or we can simply allow ourselves to grow and focus on our light internally, because that's where the magic lies at the moment. So the more of us that are focused inwards on peace, unity, harmony, groundedness, love, understanding, looking at everything from a higher perspective, the faster the outside world begins to reflect that collective vibration. It can only work when there is a majority of us doing this, which is why it's so important for us to be in that centered state. Regardless of the winds that are howling or the storms that are raging around us, you are that bastion, that beacon, that anchor point, that lighthouse that is completely unshakable when you hold that light, when you shine that light. And then everything and everyone around you recognizes that frequency and immediately rises to match it. Energy is going to now choose to take its higher form readily and easily, as opposed to being flowing into density and being difficult to manage, which is what we're used to. And this is why it might be a little bit tricky for some of us to adapt to this new way of the way that energy works now. Don't worry if you're not getting it straight away. It could take a year, it could take 2 years. At the end of the day, we're relearning in physical form to be masters of our energy and masters of the energy around us. And there's no there's no time limit for that. There's no, you've got to do this now, you've got to get it straight away. We simply do this in flow. We do this from our hearts, and many of us will remember. That's the way it works. So focus on being beautiful you, okay? And keeping your vibration as high as possible, being unshakable. Yes, you're going to see the storms, you're going to see all of this going on around you. Might be happening on your doorstep. become the alchemy that changes the world around you. It's going to take a little bit of time to get used to how this works, but when we get it, when it clicks, we'll start to see that harmony within the field. Imagine a world where everybody responds from the heart rather than from their triggered emotions, from their ego. This is what we are looking forward to. And on that note, I'm going to conclude my Friday talk from the woods. I'm going to invite all of you to join me on Sunday night for the first of my Sunday Night Ascension Club. We're going to be looking at grounding and holding light frequencies, which is obviously a favourite subject of mine. You can either sign up for the individual workshops, there's 12 throughout the course of the year, or there's an opportunity to buy, purchase them as a clump. And I'll look forward to seeing you there, 7 o'clock UK time. And another thing that I'm very excited about is it won't be long before when I do log on for these Zoom events at 7 o'clock in the evening, that will be light. And of course, Alice and I will be coming together for Life as a Living Prayer on the 21st. Shortly after that, sorry to hit you with a load of these, on the 27th, Mia Kafkios and I begin the 6th month Ascension journey. So there's lots going on. Sending you all so much love from my heart to yours. Love, not love, love. And I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.